Can you all hear me in the back? Okay, cool. Well, I'd like to call the Development and Environmental Review Committee, our regular meeting for August 2023, to order at 10:11 a.m. And we'll go ahead and call to order. Pledge of Allegiance. Sam,
Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can we get a roll call vote?
Mayor?
Present.
Sam?
Present.
Susan? Yes. Azam?
Yeah.
And then Robert Sepulveda is out. Robert Lindbergh?
Yes.
And then Castro is out. Gracie? Here. And then Tim is out.
Mike Rosales here.
Planning Department? Present.
Thank you. So we'll have two opportunities to speak. First, public comments for items listed and not listed on the agenda. A 3-minute limitation shall apply to each member of the public who wishes to address the Development and Environmental Review Committee on any item on the agenda, excluding public hearings. There is no limit to the number of items that may be discussed within the 3-minute time limit. To be called on by the chairperson, please turn in individual speaker slips to the secretary by 10 a.m. or 10:10 a.m. The day of the meeting. If you wish to email a speaking request, we do have information on that. That time has passed, and I will ask, have we received any emailed comments? Okay. We'll start with the consent agenda, and our first item is approval of the draft minutes. And I have do I have a recommendation to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of August 9th, 2023?
Motion to approve.
A motion.
Second.
And a second.
Is all approved?
All in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Okay, our next item is a public hearing, and this is for an extension of time, 23-01. And I'm going to hand over the presentation to Mr. Michael Rosales, Associate Planner with the City of San Bernardino. I do want to note that this project is an extension of time. It's not for the original project coming in. So this project was approved on June 9th of 2021. So this is an extension of that. So Mr. Rosales, could you do a presentation for us?
Thank you, Chair. Item number 2 this morning is extension of time 23-01. It's a request to allow for a 1-year extension of time for previously approved development permit type D 20-01 involving the development and operations of a truck and trailer parking facility on a 14.48 acre parcel. It is located at 157 North Rancho Avenue within the industrial heavy zone. Our environmental determination is previous environmental determination pursuant to section 15162 for subsequent EIRs and negative declarations of the state CEQA guidelines and categorically exempt pursuant to section 15061B3 review for exemption of the state CEQA guidelines. Before we move on to our recommendation, I'd like to note that this is a request for an extension of time for a previously approved development permit, type D 20-01. It was approved by the Development and Environmental Review Committee on June 9, 2021, which was analyzed per the California Environmental Quality Act for environmental impacts. After research and technical studies were performed, it was determined by the environmental specialist that no significant environmental impacts would be imposed for the proposed development. This approval for this extension of time 23-01 for previously approved development permit type D 20-01 does not change the original project scope of work for development permit type D 20-01 and there are no new environmental impacts introduced with the approval of this extension of time 23-01 that would change the original mitigated negative declaration produced per state CEQA guidelines and standards for previously approved development permit type D 20-01. So with that, staff recommends that the Development and Environmental Review Committee adopt resolution number 2023-027 approving extension of time 23-01 approved based on the findings of fact and subject to the recommended conditions of approval, and finding the project is subject to a categorical exemption under the California Environmental Quality Act. I have no further comments.
Thank you, Mr. Rosales.
You're welcome.
So I will be opening up the public hearing. I do want to thank all of you for coming out. I think this is one of our larger attended committee meetings, so I do want to thank you. Part of the reason one of the changes that has occurred with the City of San Bernardino is we've increased our noticing requirements. Previously, it was 300 feet surrounding the property, and we have since increased it to 1,000, which might be, some of the reason all of you are receiving notices or could be receiving notices. I just wanted to make that statement that there were changes in the city's noticing practices to do better outreach. So I will. My apologies, it was 500 feet. So with that, I will open up the public hearing at 10:18, and we will start with our first speaker, Ryan Nielsen. Mr. Nielsen, whichever podium.
Hi, good morning, Ryan Nielsen, longtime San Bernardino resident. I currently reside in the city of Calamasa. I graduated from Pacific High School and Cal State San Bernardino. Just here to express my opinion in favor of approval of the extension. San Bernardino has become a logistics hub. We serve the whole country in this aspect of the economy and moving and transportation of goods, as well as supporting the lives and safety of our truck drivers. These parking lots are critical to the infrastructure in regarding the logistics and movement of goods and transportation throughout the country. So I just want to express my opinion and approval of the extension. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nielsen. Our next speaker is Daniel Charco. Daniela, my apologies.
Hi, my name is Daniela Charco. I live currently in San Bernardino and have been for the past 5 years. I'm a current employee at Elliott Precision Block Co. I have worked with them for a little over 3 years now. They are great people and have helped my family for the past 15 years. My father has worked with them for quite some time now, and he has a really close relationship with them. They have always been there for support, whether it be myself or anyone in my family. I used to go to Cal State San Bernardino, and Kenneth Elliott has been a great support and mentor for myself. Management has always been really helpful with my schedule, and she's always been a great mentor for me, as I am a first-generation college student. I do support the change from the block plant to trailer parking. Trailer parking is needed around the area, as we have seen many trucks parked in front of the plant and off of Foothill and Rialto. I do support the permit extension program. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Gwyneth Elliott, followed by Nicholas Martinez.
Good morning. My name is Gwyneth Elliott. I'm the Chief Financial Officer of Elliott Precision Block Company. I am here to speak in favor of granting the extension of time for Elliott Precision Block Company to the truck and trailer parking facility. Our project was approved with an environmental impact report that is in compliance with CEQA, or the California Environmental Quality Act, and all required public meetings. We've complied with every state and city standard for this project. This project is the next phase in our family business, and we take great care in how we do our work. We have already accomplished many items that are part of the conditions of approval for our permit. Our parcel map has been approved and filed, and power poles have been moved on site, to name a few. The extension only continues the planning and work that is well underway in accordance with the original approval. Improvements that come with this project include the addition of sidewalks on Rialto Avenue and Rancho Avenue, street improvements in front of our property on Rialto Avenue, added stormwater controls, and new landscaping. All these additions will benefit the community and improve the infrastructure around the property. I want to thank you for this opportunity to share a small, brief family history. My family's land, located at 157 North Rancho Avenue, San Bernardino, is surrounded by an industrial zone. Our north, south, east, and west property lines are connected with other industrial zoned properties. My grandparents, Fred and Velma Elliott, bought their first piece of land for business in 1946. After World War II, there was a great need for housing in the Inland Empire, and my grandparents started their block manufacturing business. This land was set aside for work. For my family, this has always been a place of good work. 4 generations of Elliott family members have worked on this land, and we have employed many, many local residents, some for as long as 35 years. My father, who's passed away, my 2 uncles, my aunt, and numerous cousins have all worked in the family business over the past 77 years. I have worked for the family business for 13 years. Thank you for your time and allowing me to tell you a brief history of our company and my family, and ask for your approval of this extension. This will be of benefit to the entire community.
Thank you so much. Our next speaker is Nicholas Martinez.
You stepped outside.
Okay. Our next speaker, Chris Watt. Wyatt. Wyatt.
Yeah. Sorry, I'd have been called worse. My name's Chris Wyatt. We have the body shop, clean and repair at 350 North Rancho, which is just north of Elliott. And we're in favor of the extension. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Wyatt. Our next speaker is Scott McLeod.
Hello, my name is Scott McLeod. I'm one of the employees that have been there for 30 years. Awesome people to work for. I couldn't say more good things about it. I think the project should go on. Just bringing any truck parking. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McLeod. Melvin Elliott.
Hi, my name is Melvin Elliott. I'm president of Elliott Block Company. And just to give you a little history, I was born in Loma Linda, grew up in San Bernardino, went to Pacific High School, attended Valley College for some classes, and I've been running the family business for 43 years. My dad started the business in 1946, and so actually I've got almost 10 years over my dad in running the business because he ran it for 34 years. But Mr. Bondeman is here as our consultant, and I'd like to have him speak.
I believe we have a speaker slip. Now, are you you're the applicant?
I'm representing the applicant. Actually, he's the applicant, and so I
Okay.
thought they would get up to speak without having to fill out a speaker slip.
Correct. Is that how you normally do it?
Yes.
Okay. So if you'd like to have Mr. Bondeman come up now as the applicant, please do.
Good morning. My name is Ed Bondeman, 234 North Arrowhead, San Bernardino. We've been working on this project since, I think, 2019. This existing facility, it was a manufactured block, and actually this was a good use for the zoning, so we actually went through the process, got this approved, did all the environmental, all the applications, paid all the fees, did everything we were supposed to do, did the radius maps that were required, and the project was approved. Remember, it was a COVID year, so nothing moved very fast, and we had no problem with COVID getting things started. To remind people of that. We recorded our final parcel map. We had Edison come in. They've already relocated 2 poles to make them tall enough so we can get trucks and trailers under. Already relocated a pole to do our street improvements. Basically, on your conditions of approval, we shouldn't even have to be here to do a time extension. But the family wanted insurance. They wanted to say, hey, we haven't started, we haven't pulled a permit, we want to do this. We said, okay, that's fine. It doesn't hurt, it's a time extension, it should be simple. But like you said, you changed your noticing to 1,000 feet plus tenants. So that's why you've got all these people here, because of the change in noticing, which is fine. Everybody gets to speak. I just want to remind you, it was approved. We're asking for a time extension. We've already paid all of our fees. It makes perfect sense that this gets a time extension. So that's what we'd like to see. You have problems with illegal trucking in San Bernardino. If you want illegal trucking, then that's what you'll get. If you want legal trucking, then you'll do the time extension. Approve this, you'll get street improvements, you'll get landscaping, you'll get lighting, you'll get paved, you'll get water quality management plan, everything that's done correctly. If you don't want that, then deny it. So that's my 2 cents. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bondman.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Manuel Uribe.
Nick Martinez came back in.
Oh, okay.
If you
Well,
could-
since I just called Mr. Uribe, we'll bring Mr. Martinez up next.
Mi nombre es Manuel Uribe. My name is Manuel Uribe. I speak few English. Is my translation. Cuando ustedes cambiaron las reglas de 500 a 1000 pies, afectó mucha gente.
When the notification changes were switched from 300 feet to 500 feet, a lot more people were made aware of the development.
Mi familia está siendo afectada por esto.
And as a result, now more people are made aware of how they might be impacted by the results of the development of the project, where they weren't aware of it before.
Tengo 20 años viviendo en San Bernardino.
I've been living in San Bernardino for 20 years.
Tengo 3 lindas hijas y una nieta.
I have 3 beautiful daughters and a granddaughter.
Vivimos cerca de los tranvías.
We live right next to the intersection.
Hace 8 años pudimos lograr comprar una casa móvil.
8 years ago, we finally managed to be able to get a mobile home.
¿Cómo le voy a decir a mi familia que ya no podemos vivir ahí? O podamos peligrar porque no podemos vivir ahí.
I'm at a loss in terms of how to really process what may or may not happen, because the information that happened as a result of the project hasn't been discussed at this meeting nor at the last meeting, since the rules have changed or since the notifications have changed. So there's still a lot that's up in the air in regards to what the tenants within that radius know about the project and more specifics.
Vivimos muy felices y estoy en un problema y yo creo que muchas personas igual que yo estamos en la misma situación.
So I'm just one of many tenants that are in the situation where we're in limbo because we don't know how, to what extent, our residential living area will be affected, because it is a mobile home park. It's not necessarily like something that has a more structured foundation. and those specifics are really important for somebody to be able to make decisions about their livelihood.
Probablemente si yo tuviera 500 pies no afectaría a tantas personas, pero nos está afectando a todos.
If it weren't supposedly, like, the reasoning is that the notification changes and radius was made because it would impact the people within that area, and even then, not everybody, not the whole mobile home parks were made were notified. It'd be close, I guess, safer to say that maybe 10% of the closest mobile homes to the project were notified, but being able to be made aware of all the specifics in regards to, let's say, how many trucks will be there, what the hours of operation, etc., would better help the residents know exactly what they're going to be dealing with or what they're going to have to adapt to.
Para mi familia sería un daño psicológico muy grande. Pues creo que la familia es lo más importante de la sociedad.
In terms of if it's the noise pollution and things like that, oftentimes we talk about the economic impacts or benefits for the city to make development decisions such as these, but what are the social impacts and implications that families will have to deal with as a result of living by these developmental projects?
A mí nunca me notificaron, apenas hace 2 semanas me dijeron de esto. Que pues prácticamente es un impacto grande.
At this point in time, it feels like a lot to have to bear, I guess, like on a mental and psychological level for folks that were notified only recently in regards to the hearing 2 weeks ago versus the project that, as been mentioned, has already been pre-approved a year ago. So they're already one step behind, or it feels as if they're being set up for failure.
Quizá no les importe, pero si se ponen en mi lugar, es para mí no solo un lugar, es un refugio para mi familia, para mis hijas.
If you were to put yourself in my shoes, living there, raising a family and having a home is like a cornerstone of what it means to basically be a part of society, and home is a refuge. So if the development were to cause significant enough changes, or if it affects like the quality of sleep, the quality of living on site, then that's a serious concern.
Creo que es justo que nos den más tiempo.
And I think it's fair that it would only be fair and just for tenants to be able to have that the ability to know and make that decision with adequate time.
No, sino que ha sido una carga para el Estado, y eso me generaría a mí gastos para...
I give you guys this one.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Uribe. Julieta Fuentes.
Hola, buenos días. Mi nombre es Julieta Fuentes. Soy organizadora y representante de la comunidad de Inland Empire.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Julieta Fuentes, and I'm the organizer and representative of the community in Inland Empire.
Estoy con el Centro de Recursos para Trabajadores de Bodega.
I do work at the Resource Center for all the warehouses.
Estoy el día de hoy exigiendo que los representantes de la Junta de Revisión Ambiental de Desarrollo tomen responsabilidad lo antes posible.
So I'm here before you, the Committee for Development and Environmental Review, in order to hear me out in regards to your responsibilities in this aspect.
Con respecto a la construcción del estacionamiento para trailers.
So this is in regards of the parking development operations of truck and trailer parking facility.
Es inaceptable construir una parada de camiones cerca de las casas donde la ciudad de San Bernardino no tiene la infraestructura adecuada.
To me, it's not acceptable that a construction is made in these streets close to where San Bernardino, where the infrastructure is not adequate to allow this type of construction.
Sin dejar de mencionar la peor crisis de salud que enfrentamos con los altos niveles de contaminación en estas ciudades.
Not to mention the crisis that we already have and also the health implications that it could have in all levels for the people residing in this area.
Las ferroviarias están atrás en nuestros patios contaminando el aire y afectando nuestra salud. Un estacionamiento de camiones se sumará al problema.
So, first of all, you have these warehouses, you have the process centers at the back of the building, and well, they're contaminating and the air. There's a lot of pollutants affecting the health of the residents at that time. Not to mention the parking station for the trucks. That's going to add to the problem that already exists at this time.
Las 4,000 bodegas que bordean los corredores de transporte de la región generan unos 600,000 viajes diarios de camiones, emitiendo una alarmante cantidad de 50 millones de libras de dióxido de carbono.
So I wanted to add, for example, if you think about this, there's 4,000 warehouses bordering these transportation region. This amounts to 600,000 deliveries that we're talking about with these trucks. And I understand this is an alarming amount. 50 million pounds of this carbon dioxide is affecting not only the people that are live in the area, but it's a negative contamination impact to the whole region.
Los efectos negativos de esta contaminación y la congestión de tráfico se concentran mayormente en comunidades habitadas en su mayoría por residentes latinos y de bajos ingresos.
As it is very well known, this congestion of traffic concentrated in these communities, industrial communities. These communities are low-income communities. These are the communities that are always affected by this industrialized area. It's a fact.
Mi trabajo como organizador me lleva a saber de todos estos retos que ellos están enfrentando día a día.
So my job here as an organizer is to carry on my voice and to confront these different threats, health threats, that on a daily basis we're the ones that have to bear.
Nuestra comunidad no toda fue notificada de la construcción del estacionamiento, además de enfrentarse al gran desafío del idioma. Es por eso que también a nombre de los que no están presentes el día de hoy, que no pudieron venir por motivos de trabajo, pido que tengamos interpretación al idioma de cada residente según sea su necesidad.
Lost my notes here. One moment. Most of our community was not notified. If they were notified, it was short notice. Add to that the language barrier. So we need to have these documents translated in order so that we can take measures at an earlier phase, not at a later phase of this issue.
Los residentes de la comunidad merecen ser tratados con dignidad y respeto. Nosotros nos oponemos a la construcción de la parada de camiones en nuestro vecindario. Gracias a, como dije anteriormente, estoy a nombre de los residentes de San Bernardino y su servidora le damos gracias.
So the residents of this community, they deserve a dignified and respectful notifications and should be treated this way. So we oppose this continuation of this construction, and I am the voice for many of those that were not here today because they have to work. And well, thank you for your time. And again, I'm here on behalf of the residents of San Bernardino as a supervisor.
Thank you, Mr. Rubio. Our next speaker is Christian Flores, followed by Sandra Salazar.
Hi everyone, my name is Christian Flores, community organizer with Inland Congregations United for Change, lifelong resident in the city of San Bernardino. My family owns the first Habitat for Humanity house in all of Southern California. I attended school district, college, both Valley and Cal State here. I'm here essentially just to echo some of the concerns that a lot of the residents had and asking for specifics in regards to the project. I know that the result of this meeting is more so because there hasn't been a precedent set for the changes in the notification process, and the project had already been approved. However, for the sake of families being able to really grasp the effects of it and taking into consideration how historically the way that zoning works, even though this particular area is zoned for heavy industrial, historically affordable housing was built or targeted for communities. As you can see, the vast majority of the people in this room, Latin American, Hispanic, were often not welcomed in society. And so affordable housing and mobile home parks were built in areas that were heavy industrial. So they would be out of sight, out of mind in terms of your traditional downtown thriving economic scenes. And for generations, that's been something that they've been impacted by. Their quality of living is substandard. They're at higher risk of the environmental impacts of different industries because their housing was specifically placed in industrial zones. That being said, my questions in regards to the project or specifications, if they can be reviewed, since the notifications they received were just specifically for last week's hearing. There was no notifications for the continuation of that conversation to this week's hearing. Often mobile home park managers don't allow like flyering and things for more folks to be made aware, so that keeps more folks from being involved as well. So my questions are one, will it be a 24-hour facility? Where will trucks be idling there consistently? In terms of reports in other cities, is there increased risk of theft and crime that happens when freight trucks are placed by, whenever there's spaces where freight trucks congregate? Just for starters. Just wanted to remind you of what these folks have historically dealt with. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Flores. Sandra Salazar, followed by Nicholas Martinez.
Good morning. My name is Sandra Salazar. My husband and I, we live in the Petite Mobile Home Park located at 2075 West Rialto Avenue in San Bernardino. And I am here at the Development Environment Review Committee so that the leadership of the committee understands the situation directly for the people who will be impacted by the truck stops. The impact of the truck stops will cause health problems such as smog, pollution, asthma, cancer, and breathing problems. And the carbon dioxide is the worst. In the neighborhood, we have Latinos, low-income, working people, and did I mention the children on the school buses? And that is why I am here today. And because of some of the neighbors were not notified properly of this meeting that needs to be translated. We are not against the truck drivers, but they are part of our community. As it is, there is a lot of traffic on Rancho Avenue and Rialto Avenue, which includes trucks, vehicles, ambulance, paramedics, and there's accidents on that street too. And I thank you for your cooperation on this, and you have a good day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Salazar. Nicholas Martinez. Followed by Kevin Torres.
Good morning. My name is Nicholas Martinez. I own a recycling center on Rialto Avenue. I'm familiar with the Block family and how they operate, so I know they would be a good contributing, company, no matter what they're doing. I do see a lot of trucks parked all over the place where they don't belong, causing more traffic. So these things are pretty necessary for the growth of the city. So there's somewhere to park. Regarding the emissions, California has super strict guidelines with the Air Resource Board to prevent the pollution that they're talking about. So they continuously change the laws to get the trucks that pollute out of the state, all the time. So I'm in favor of their park. We need it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Kevin Torres.
So, good morning, board. Good morning. My name is Kevin Torres, community organizer with the Warehouse Worker Resource Center, a nonprofit organization motivated by helping the communities against labor injustices and even bringing awareness towards these major construction projects without the consideration or consultation to the nearby residents. I'm here due to the motivation of those residents that seek us out for help to speak from the experience of the things that I heard, meanwhile sharing the information door by door. I'm in support of the affected residents of Santiago, Orangewood, Petit, Mountain View, and Oasis Palms, among others. First off, those communities currently have the railroad as their alarm clocks day and night. Some directly behind their backyards as if it were a large uncaged pet. And honestly, I found it funny that it was only due to the change of notice within the 1,000 feet that tenants were even able to hear about it. And again, I acknowledge the bigger economic gain by having this storage for the trucks that move the merchandise from this logistics empire. And with the support of the Blanc Company, honestly, it's an ideal spot. I was even skimming through the plan and saw that the surrounding streets of Rancho and Rialto would even get a makeover to fix up those heavily cracked roads, their sidewalks, and even add lighting. But once again, purely for the trucks, not for the community. From my experience, I heard a bit of both, from supporting to opposition, but the majority without any idea that it was going to even be happening. I find it disgraceful that these letters were only sent after the project's approval. Again, we understand the benefits, but please think it over for the same please think it over for those same residents that will have to face the health issues like asthma and cancer, the heavy traffic, and let's not even mention the lower air quality. And finally, we are not against truck drivers, as they are part of our community as a driving force in making our economy. But logically, I find it more humane to put people's lives over profits. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Torres. Our next speaker, Brenda Soto, followed by Eddie Gonzalez.
Hello everybody, my name is Brenda Soto. I'm with the People's Collective for Environmental Justice. I'm here today in solidarity with the communities from the mobile home parks who will be directly impacted by this truck stop and its pollution that will bring to the community. At the moment, we have about 600,000 truck trips passing through our communities every single day. You mentioned that there will be no significant environmental impacts, but our communities literally live in clusters of cancer zones. They're being impacted by air pollution, and we need to make sure that our communities and our lives are not being put on the side when it comes to profit. We do need truck stops in our communities, and we're not against truck drivers, but we don't need them next to our homes. These homes will be directly impacted by the air pollution, not to mention that the road yard is literally in their backyards. I know that the small family business promised improvements to the city, but as I'm sitting in the back, I hear that these people are disrespecting the communities that are coming to talk about their concerns. So you're coming to the podium and you're talking about the improvements that you're going to make to the city, but you're disrespecting the people sitting here. That's unacceptable to me. So please make it make sense, and please hope you can take this into consideration, that we need to think about the well-being of our communities. Thank you.
Thanks, Ms. Soto. Eddie Gonzalez, followed by Arturo Quiroz Ramirez.
Good morning, my name is Eddie Gonzalez. I'm with the Warehouse Workers Resource Center. We're deeply concerned about the public health hazard the truck stop will pose to our community. This lot should be used for development that enrich the culture and well-being of the residents. The truck stop will increase exhaust and air pollution, where residents and children routinely have outdoor activities when weather permits. We are not against truck drivers. Truck drivers are part of the community. My father was a truck driver for 25 years, and I know firsthand that they need to rest, because I will see my father from tired from a long day of work. We need truck stops to keep them safe, but not at the cost of having nearby homes or schools.
Thank you. Ramirez. Tonya Gonzalez, followed by Enrique Arroyo.
Hi, my name is Tanya. I'm with the People's Collective for Environmental Justice. I'm here today in support of my fellow community members who are concerned about the trucks of being so near their homes, right? And before I start, I do want to urge you to not just hear, but actually listen to the stories. It's so easy to just sit there and like pretend to listen, right? But actually listen. So first of all, our communities, as you've already heard, San Bernardino is one of the most contaminated city in the nation, not just in the Inland Empire, but in the nation. And the Inland Empire is the most contaminated in general, right? And many of the communities that are impacted by this pollution are predominantly people of color, Latinos, and low-income residents. So this truck stop being in less than 1,000 square feet from homes, it's just not really acceptable, right? And the only reason you have so many people here today is because you changed that 500 to 1,000 feet, right? But this should have been done from the beginning, from before it was approved. I know that y'all say that the roads and the sidewalks and infrastructure around the area will be affected. And yes, you're right, around the area. It's not going to expand to where the trucks are going to pass by these homes, right? These roads are already messed up. You also mentioned that yes, it passed the environmental review, everything checked out. That's great. But we know that these reviews are honestly trash, right? Because we know that the government and corporations care a lot more about bringing money in than the health of the people. So yeah, this is just going to impact people's health a lot more. And as everyone has been saying, they do have rail yards, the rail yard right behind. I walk that area. I know that area. The rail yard is literally, like you can hop the fence and you're there already. So, you know, just adding more trucks into the trips and into that truck stop is just going to add to the pollution already. And as everyone else, some of my colleagues have mentioned, we do clarify we're not against the truck drivers. The truck drivers are part of our communities. They do need places to rest. And I agree, there needs to be a truck stop, but not so near homes and not where the infrastructure is not adequate for them to be driving in and out. And I want to end by saying that, as I mentioned earlier, the reason why you have more people here today is because you increase the notifications to 1,000 feet, and that needs to continue. And community needs to continue being part of the process when it comes to approving projects, as well as continuing having interpretation in these meetings, because there's a lot of community in San Bernardino that is monolingual and does not speak English. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gonzalez. Enrique Arroyo, followed by Joanna Silva.
Good morning. My name is Enrique Arroyo, an organizer with the Warehouse Workers Resource Center, and I'm here to share some of the concerns that the community had that couldn't be here today. We're didn't hear about this information earlier in the process to address the problems that this project will bring to the community. Without proper infrastructure, these roads will continue to become progressively worse. The constant traffic for these trucks will not only do that, but create even more pollution. Not to mention, we're already dealing with the road yards in our backyards, polluting our air and impacting the health of our people. Adding these truck stops will only create more problems. As you know, San Bernardino has the worst air quality in the nation. Do you guys want to continue to lift that trophy? I don't think so. That's why I'm here to make sure that our community is fully informed by having people involved in the process, and that includes its translation. We are not against truckers, as they are part of the community, and we need truck stops, but not next to homes and schools. Make the right decision, the decision that will lead the community to a better and healthier future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Arroyo. Joanna Silva.
Hi. Before I begin, I would like a point of clarification. The gentleman that gave a little brief presentation here on the board prior to the meeting starting in regards to this, what is his role on this committee?
The gentleman there?
Yes.
He is not on the committee. I mean, right now he's not serving on the committee. He is the associate planner presenting the extension of time.
So once again, hello. My name is Joanna Silva. I am currently a resident at 201 South Pennsylvania Avenue, which would be Oasis Palm Estates. And I am within 700 feet of where this proposed parking facility is to take place. And I'm deeply saddened that the people from Elliott Block Co. are coming here today and saying that they aren't able to see past their bubble of industry. That is an industrial zone, because it's not. That has been my home for the past 10 years. That has been the place in which I and my family have resided. That was the place in which I developed chronic bronchitis. That was the place in which my mother developed thyroid cancer. That is the place where my brother developed severe allergies. And that is the place where they will continue to live, and I myself will continue to live. And I'm deeply saddened by that. That industry has continued to take a precedent before community. This industry might be small and family owned, and I'm very proud to see that there are families that are able to thrive here in San Bernardino. I'm happy to see the rich and valuable history of families that are able to continue to push for industry, and I'm not here to not support industry. Many of my uncles are truckers, many of the people in my community are truckers, and I support anything that will support them. But at the same time, we cannot go today and not acknowledge the fact that this is hurting our community, this is hurting me, this is hurting my family, this is hurting my neighbors, this is hurting the children in my community, the children I watch from my window that go outside and play in the evenings. I am deeply, deeply saddened to see today that industry is trying to come in and further pollute a community that is low income, further pollute a community that consists primarily of Latin homes and communities, Hispanic families. I'm sad that this was approved prior and now it's asking for an extension, and when it was first approved, I heard nothing of it. A lot of members of the community heard nothing of it. Where is the transparency I wish to see from the people on this board and from the people of the city? There is a compliance with CFOA, and many of the community groups. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Silva. Delia Guzman.
And I'm here with WRC, which is a Center for Resources for Workers.
Hoy en este día estoy frente a ustedes para en apoyo a nuestra comunidad que está siendo afectada por este proyecto.
I find myself here before you in order to stand united with my community in regards to this issue and this project.
Que es este estacionamiento que está cerca de nuestras casas, escuelas, y que estos camiones, muchos de ellos se quedan encendidos y transitan todo el día.
As we heard before, we're talking about this truck stop that's close to the school districts, our homes, and again, the community.
Y transitan todo el día sobre estas bodegas o con la carga de las bodegas, ¿verdad? No estamos en contra de estas personas que transiten o que hagan su trabajo como los camioneros, pero nosotros estamos pidiendo que por favor ustedes no pasen este proyecto.
As is expected, a thriving business that has delivery trucks, there's constant traffic, the trucks are coming in, out, deliveries, it's expected. There's a lot of traffic. There's also a lot of contamination. Now, this is what I want to focus in regards to the contamination, the disease that come with it to the people around this area.
No sin antes mencionar también que está la ferroviaria cerca de estas casas. Y como consecuencia nosotros tenemos más contaminación, enfermedades de asma, efemas pulmonares y cáncer.
As I mentioned before, these illnesses, cancer, asthma, emphysema, and other pulmonary diseases are all because of this truck stop or industry close to our homes.
¿Cuánta contaminación nosotros tenemos que seguir aguantando nuestra comunidad? Tenemos que seguir aguantando nuestra comunidad y todos estos proyectos que ustedes están aprobando y dejando a las personas más vulnerables con terribles enfermedades.
So how longer or how much longer do we have to continue bearing and taking in all this contamination before something is done? How long do we have to continue dealing with these projects that has been approved and then affecting the vulnerable community constantly?
No sin antes decirles, no estamos en contra de los trabajadores que conducen estos camiones, porque ellos son trabajadores, pero sí en contra de estas personas que aprueban los proyectos.
So we're not against, as mentioned before, against the truck drivers. We are not against this industry, because we know they're hard workers. But we are against those people that approve these projects without thinking about the community and the consequences that it will have in order to make more profit.
De nuevo, es que nosotros pensemos en soluciones que no dañen más a nuestra comunidad y pensar en la seguridad de la comunidad que vive cerca de nuestras casas y también la seguridad también de los camioneros como trabajadores.
I would like to reiterate again that we need to think together, we need to come to a solution together, a solution that will not continue hurting the community. Think about the security, think about the health, think about the community that lives close to these places.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Guzman. Maria Jagari?
Maria Zacarías?
Maria?
María.
She's not going to speak.
She's not. Yasmin Sanchez?
Hola, buenos días. Mi nombre es Yasmin.
Good morning, my name is Yasmin.
Vivo aproximadamente hace 8 años en la comunidad de Rialto Avenida.
I've been living approximately 8 years in the Rialto Avenue neighborhood.
Y solo quiero que sepan que no estoy de acuerdo con la compañía que va a hacer lo de los trailers.
and I just want you to know that I'm not in favor of the project for the truck stop.
Soy una de las personas afectadas en esa comunidad, ya que nuestros hijos toman el autobús todos los días cerca de esta construcción que se va a hacer.
I'm one of the people that live in the area that's most impacted, and my family and children regularly take the bus to school in the area next to the project development area.
Durante 6 de la mañana a 4 de la tarde hay niños subiendo y bajando de autobús.
From 6 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon, there's kids from different schools with different schedules getting on and off the buses.
En mi comunidad somos 60 familias, 60 mobile homes.
In our community in Mobile Home Park, there are 70 mobile homes.
Y los niños juegan todas las tardes afuera.
And the kids are playing outside all the time.
So, vamos a tener contaminación mental y de salud con este proyecto.
We're going to have mental, physical, environmental impacts as a result of this project.
Y no tenemos un área ni para caminar a nuestros animales, y todo el tiempo hay trailers en la avenida, aparte de los automóviles pues de la comunidad alrededor.
We don't even have places to walk our dogs or pets in that neighborhood, yet there's trucks driving through that street all the time, not to mention all the cars and vehicles from all the mobile homes that are in that area.
Exactamente en Rancho y Rialto ocurren demasiados accidentes todo el tiempo.
Specifically on the corner or the intersection of Rancho and Rialto Avenue, there's accidents all the time. It's really frequent.
Los jóvenes caminan ahí para comprar dulces en la licor, y no va a ser algo que seguro que ellos lo hagan habiendo tantos camiones.
And as stated earlier, the kids are always spending time outside and in the streets because the only thing they have available to them is the liquor store on the corner of that intersection where they go to buy candies. So with the increased traffic and the rate at which accidents already happen there, how are we as parents to know that area will be secure and safe for them?
Queremos movernos de ahí, y ¿quién nos va a comprar nuestras propiedades? ¿Quién va a querer vivir con una contaminación de trailers y ruido todo el tiempo? ¿Quién?
We want to move out of that area, but we don't have the economic means, nor is there somebody that would be willing to buy into that, especially if they're going to be inheriting all the results or impacts of the project, having to deal with noise and movement and just everything that comes with the development.
Solo quiero que piensen en las familias afectadas, en nuestros hijos y nuestras escuelas, y pues no estoy de acuerdo en este proyecto.
Again, I'm not in favor of this project, and I just want you all to take a moment to really think about all the families and the students that live in that area. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sanchez. No, Carmen Gonzalez? Carmen? Is it Carmen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Hola, buenos días. Mi nombre es Carmen González,
Good morning. My name is Carmen Gonzalez.
organizadora con la Colectiva Popular para la Justicia Ambiental. Organizadora con la Colectiva Popular
I'm an organizer with the collective, Popular Collective,
para la Colectiva Popular de la Justicia Ambiental.
for the justice, ambient justice.
Estoy en rotunda oposición a este proyecto
I am strongly in disagreement with this project.
ya que a lo largo de 20 años de vivir en la ciudad de San Bernardino,
I say this because throughout my 20 years as a resident in San Bernardino,
he visto cómo la industria crece,
I have seen how industry have been growing and growing
pero sin ningún beneficio para la comunidad.
without any benefit to the resident, to the community.
Nos están invadiendo
We are being invaded.
con más de 4,000 bodegas a lo largo de Inland Empire.
Everywhere you see more than 4,000 warehouses all over the Inland Empire.
Tenemos trenes
We have trains
y troques al por mayor por toda la ciudad.
and so many trucks all around the city.
He visto cómo crece el asma, el cáncer,
And with this industrial growth comes the asthma, the different cases of asthma and other illnesses.
Mi esposo era árbitro del Rubén Campos
My husband, he used to be the Rubén Campos, coach for Rubén Campos.
y he mirado cómo en vez de hacer ejercicio las personas y beneficiarse se perjudican con la contaminación.
So I've seen the community, instead of going out there like in other affluent neighborhoods, go out and jog, do exercise, go out there is no place for that. So what's happening? They're just getting sick.
Por eso les pido alto o deshagan o estoy en total desacuerdo con ese proyecto.
So this is why I'm asking today, stop. Stop and do not continue with this project.
Pedirles que les interese más la salud de las personas
So I am requesting that if you care about these people, this community's health,
y no los dineros, porque las vidas no se compran con dinero.
and stop thinking about the profits, because there is a difference in value.
Gracias.
And that was it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Gonzalez. Is there any more people that would like to speak?
Yes, we have one in the back.
Yes. Can you come up and fill out a speaker slip? Or did I miss yours?
Are you Arturo?
Yes.
There.
My name
Did I-
is Arturo Ramirez, and I am totally opposed to this project for several reasons. First of all, I don't think any of the people that approve this project live nearby. And if you do, you will see that all the things that the people in favor have said is the same thing that we hear from the politicians that go to our communities every time there is an election. They promise improvement in the streets, they promise better roads, and nothing is done. And I think this project, the only thing it's gonna do is gonna bring more pollution and more traffic. And if you ride, you have a car and ride the freeway, you'll see it's really bad and it's gonna get worse if this project is approved. And finally, I wanna ask you if you have time or if you are interested to read about air pollution linked to psychotic experiences in young people. It's an article by the Guardian, and that's what we're gonna have. If you walk the streets around Rialto and Rancho, you smell the diesel and the fuel, because it's what I experience every day. I walk sometimes from the transit center to my house, which is in Rialto and Rancho. Thank you.
Thank you. Arturo? Oh, thank you, Mr. Ramirez. Okay. So thank you all for coming in and providing your comments. I would like to ask the applicant, Edward Bondeman, to come up to provide any rebuttal or any additional comments.
I appreciate the the comments. I just want to remind everyone that this project already went through all the environmental requirements. It has already been approved. The emissions in California are the strictest emissions in the entire country. The Air Quality Control Board has been going through getting rid of old trucks. It's actually been putting a lot of trucking companies out of business, and those trucks are leaving California. I'm working on WAT EV, which is a 100% electric trucking fleet here in San Bernardino. The feds in California are moving towards all electric trucks anyways. This project provides landscaping, a legal truck stop, street improvements, lighting. So I would recommend that the design review committee approve the time extension. This project is already vested, really. So that's what we'd like to see. And I think they'll see a good neighbor in this project and a clean, legal truck stop in an area that it's properly zoned for. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bondeman. Okay, I'll close the public hearing and bring it back to the committee for discussion and a recommendation and decision. So I think we'll start with comments. My apologies. This is the first time I've chaired the committee since I've been with the city. So we may do things a little bit differently, but I wanted to see if any of the committee members had any comments regarding the project or any questions for staff.
I just want to mention about the truck traffic. The city currently is working on a truck route to the city, and the truck route will be prohibiting traffic westbound on Rialto and southbound on Rancho. So no trucks will be going into the community at all. They have to travel eastbound on Rancho and eastbound on Rialto and northbound on Rancho. That's been taken care of. The plan is in the development. It will be included as part of the general plan. So that's been taken care of. We looked at the issues for the community, and that's what it is. Because we noticed there's a lot of trucks that travel westbound. Just a point well taken, and we'll address it part of the truck route map that we're working on currently.
Thank you. Any other committee members, questions, comments?
Mike, if I could ask you, this facility is not a fueling facility at all.
No,
right?
it's not.
It's just a truck trailer drop.
Correct. So in the future, they may be adding such EV properties, such as chargers for electric vehicles, going green. Like the applicant has said, a lot of these diesel truck facilities are phasing out, and we're starting to incorporate with the city and in our conditions, we're starting to push for more electric vehicle trucking. This was all analyzed within the CEQA document for noise, for air quality management, for habitat, traffic. It was all taken in by environmental specialists that did their job. All the technical studies were done. So today, this is just for the extension of time to move the project forward, to keep construction going so it doesn't end up a vacant lot. I'd like to also say that the block company probably had more impact on your air quality than this truck stop, truck parking facility. So it's not in and out truck parks as far as what they want to do, sleeping overnight. It's just they drop their trailers, they come to pick them up when they need them, and they proceed to the freeway routes and to the established route that will be coming with the city's general plan update here in the future. That's all I had to say.
Right. So just to clarify, it's not really a truck stop as far as like a travel center.
No, it's not a truck stop like a travel
gas station, C-store.
Correct. No C-store, no service station.
Convenience store. Yes. Excuse me. So thank you very much for the clarification.
So to add on to that, so the just a moment, ma'am. On the truck parking, is this trailer parking, or will actually the truck rigs be parked there as well?
Just trailers. If there are.
Okay, hold on. Let me just open up the public hearing briefly to have you respond to that.
Too, and then it's all sit down, and then you're doing it again right now. I don't see that's fair.
This is a question, sir. Hold on. This is a question for the applicant on the project, and I did close the public hearing, but I will open it up again officially so the speaker can speak, okay? Please hold for me.
It's the vast majority of it is scheduled for trailer parking. We had a few rig parking spots on it also. It was a very small number though. It was, and I can look to let me see if I can find it. But it's
just for mainly trailer parking.
Yeah, and it's a single facility, so it'll be a single user. So like a Schneider or a JB Hunt or like a single user. The railroad, you don't.
But it won't be for multiple independent operators to be coming in and parking.
No, it's a single facility.
Okay.
For a single user.
Okay. While I have the applicant up here, is there any other questions
Yes.
for the applicant? Yes.
Is there a time limit? Like, is it like at night? Is it going to be operational at night? Is it going to be? What are the hours of operation of the facility?
The hours of operation would have been on our original justification letter. I'd have to go back and look. Most likely, it wouldn't be limited. A lot of these trucks, like the Schneider facility over by Toyota, they'll leave it. They leave at night. It just matters how they, and then they have less traffic during the day, during high traffic hours. So I think this facility would be considered 24 hours. I wouldn't limit it to 24 hours, or less than 24 hours.
Okay, any other questions?
It's whatever the original, I don't remember, I'd have to look at the conditions. It's whatever the original conditions say.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
So I will open the public hearing again. I want to make sure that we've been able to hear all the comments. And ma'am, can you just come up to the podium, let me, your name? And did you already fill out a speaker slip?
Perdón. Ya había participado yo anteriormente, pero yo tengo una pregunta acerca de todo lo que están diciendo que...
I had participated before and I filled out a form, but I do want to comment on what was just commented at this time.
Lo que el señor desarrollador está prometiendo y el dueño del proyecto
This
está
gentleman, the planning committee or whoever he was, he just made a comment at this time.
Que no va a afectar la área oeste, no recuerdo todas las cosas que está diciendo él, pero una cosa, ¿ustedes cómo se van a asegurar que estén cumpliendo todo lo que están diciendo?
He promises it's not going to affect the east side, it's not going to affect this. He says so many promises, but how is this committee going to make sure that everything he's saying, that it's not going to impact, that it's not going to affect, how are you going to make sure that this is implemented?
Porque me estoy dando cuenta que ustedes ahorita están haciendo preguntas pero fundamentales del horario, de cómo va, a qué calles va a afectar o qué carros van a estar parados ahí.
You're making very fundamental questions at this time. The time frame, the office hours, who's permitted to park there, how long, and these are very fundamental questions that are just being made.
Hay muchas preguntas que quedan al aire y de nuevo decimos necesitamos que la comunidad se respete.
So again, I just want to reiterate, keep in mind the community, keep them in mind that they are dignified and that they are respected.
Y por último, mi pregunta es, ¿por qué no está sentado un miembro de la comunidad ahí? ¿Qué tenemos que hacer para que un miembro de la comunidad se siente ahí?
And one further question is, why isn't a representative of the community sitting there at the table with you? Why isn't our voice being heard? And what can we do to have one of the members of the community, an advocate, sit there with you?
Thank you.
Gracias.
Gracias.
And can you get her name? Just one moment. I'm going to take just like a 3-minute break here.
Vamos a tomar una pequeña pausa de 3 minutos. Gracias.
So 2021. And I just wanted to go over a few items. I know we've had a lot of questions, and we do value the community's input on this. The project, as we're reviewing it, is an extension of time for an existing approved project that did prepare a mitigated negative declaration, and notice of determination was filed on that project back in 2021. It was June 9th, 2021 that the project was approved. And since that time, we have noted that the developer has implemented the development plan. They've recorded a parcel map and contributed financial improvements to the project site. And so they're requesting the extension of the time. I do know there was some comments on environmental for noise, air quality, and street improvements. Those items would have been analyzed within that mitigated negative declaration. So that time period to challenge that document is over. For going forward, I just wanted to note that while the facility is open for 24 hours a day, the applicant did note that the operation is proposed. Primary operation is 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and that it will be primarily trailer parking. There could be trucks parked there as well, so I don't want to say there will not be trucks parked there. So those were to answer some of the questions. I know you may have other questions, but for our review, it's very finite here today. It is for the extension of time. We are not reevaluating the project. That's not the purpose of the hearing today. So I will go forward and have the committee. There was one question of the committee, and I do want to address this because there was the question about why there isn't citizen representation on the committee. The committee is made up of representatives from the city departments, and so it's an administrative action committee. Is guided by our development code, which is part of the city's municipal code, and outlines who would serve on this committee. So at this time, there is no resident position on this particular committee. As the city reevaluates committees and ordinances over time, that is something that they could consider. But right now, there is no citizen representation on this committee. It's strictly a staff committee to review projects within a certain threshold here at the city. So on this project, I'll entertain a motion from the committee.
Motion to approve the extension of time.
Okay. Do you have a motion to approve the extension of time? Second. And do we have a second? Second? Okay, second. Okay, all in favor, we'll do a roll call vote.
Mary?
Aye.
Gracie, sorry. Aye. Sam?
Aye.
Susan? Yeah. Josiah?
Aye.
And Robert?
Aye.
Okay, so all approved?
So the motion does approve to, is approved for the extension of time. So for those, I do want to let everyone know, so it did pass for the extension. I know that some of the community members do have concerns on it, and there is a 15-day appeal period for action to the Planning Commission. So if you'd like to appeal this decision, that can be done by contacting Jessica in our office, and she can coordinate with the city clerk should you wish to do that. Okay, our committee now is adjourned. Thank you all for coming. We do appreciate your participation with San Bernardino, and we do appreciate your comments. We did not take those lightly.